I don't know about you, but I'm always feeling good when it comes to conversation relating to women. So every Wednesday, we air out our women conversation on the Focal Women Talk. And of course, I am your presenter and your host, Gregphina Courage Pa. I love to be called Courage. I'm encouraging you to please join this platform on Focal Online TV, where we discuss issues concerning women. We talk about health issues, we talk about career issues, we talk about those challenging things we face in our daily lives as women. Please do not be deterred because you are not a woman at a particular age. Be reminded you can be a girl, you can be a teenager, you can be a woman, and you can still join this conversation. Please join me every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. where I drill you through with an interesting conversation relating to us women. So please stay with me on Focal Online TV, where we bring you innovation to broadcasting. Thanks for watching. I am your host, Gregphina saying have a blessed day. I don't know about you, but I'm always feeling good when it comes to conversation relating to women. So every Wednesday, we air out our women conversation on the Focal Women Talk. And of course, I am your presenter and your host, Gregphina Courage Pa. I love to be called Courage. I'm encouraging you to please join this platform on Focal Online TV, where we discuss issues concerning women. We talk about health issues, we talk about career issues, we talk about those challenging things we face in our daily lives as women. Please do not be deterred because you are not a woman at a particular age. Be reminded you can be a girl, you can be a teenager, you can be a woman, and you can still join this conversation. Please join me every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. where I drill you through with an interesting conversation relating to us women. So please stay with me on Focal Online TV, where we bring you innovation to broadcasting. Thanks for watching. I am your host, Gregphina saying have a blessed day.
Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. If you not want betrayal, find a friend like me.
Bombe oh, find a friend like me. Bombe jene oh, find a friend like me. Find a friend like me. Find a friend like me.
Hey, see bestie, your bestie not sweet like my bestie. Your bestie la bestie. Find a friend like me.
I say, see bestie wanting to wealthy. Find a friend like me. I hear them say they want me go. I say
Some of them say they want me go.
I say
Some French la oh ah oh. Some French la oh ah oh. Some French la oh ah oh. French la oh ah. Hey, see bestie, your bestie not sweet like my bestie. Your bestie la bestie. Find a friend like me.
I say, see bestie wanting to wealthy. Find a friend like me. They won't step on my blessing, but God get it breaking, huh? They won't call it my blessing, but God get it breaking, huh?
French, see French, can't see Papa T French, and I want no bad for French. everybody one go.
I hear them say they want me go, I say I hear them say they want me go, I say
Some friends you know, oh ah, oh ah, oh ah, oh. Some friends you know, oh ah, oh ah, oh ah, oh. Some friends you know, oh ah, oh ah, oh ah, oh. Friends you know, oh ah, oh ah, oh ah, oh. Hey, see bestie, the bestie na friend by my bestie, the bestie la bestie, so hey friend.
I say, see bestie wanting to wefty, want him alone, find a friend, let me.
DJ Young T.
You got money like Johnny. You funny.
Beats.
I don't know about you, but I'm always feeling good when it comes to conversation relating to women. So every Wednesday, we air out our women conversation on the Focal Women Talk. And of course, I am your presenter and your host, Gregphina Courage Pa. I love to be called Courage. I'm encouraging you, so please join this platform on Focal Online TV, where we discuss issues concerning women. We talk about health issues, we talk about career issues, we talk about those challenging things we face in our daily lives as women. Please do not be deterred because you are not a woman at a particular age. Be reminded you can be a girl, you can be a teenager, you can be a woman, and you can still join this conversation. Please join me every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. where I drill you through with an interesting conversation relating to us women. So please stay with me on Focal Online TV, where we bring you innovation to broadcasting. Thanks for watching. I am your host, Gregphina saying have a blessed day.
Good afternoon, folks. Good afternoon, my fellow women. Good afternoon, girls. Good afternoon to you, teenagers. This is the Focal Women Talk, where we talk about issues relating to us women. And my name is Gregphina Courage Par. But when I'm talking these things, I love to be called Courage, so simply call me Courage. So I'm welcoming you officially to the Focal Women Talk here on Focal Online TV. This program is being aired out every Wednesday at 1 to 2 p.m., but because of some time adjustment, we have decided to finally adjust our show time to 11 to 12. So you have the Focal Women Talk being aired out from 11 o'clock to 12. Yes, so we are back here again, and of course, I'm using this song "Found a Friend Like Me" because a friend that will educate you is a friend that you should find. So now let's give a shout out to our commissioner, the Township of New Georgia Estate, express their best wishes as you celebrate your birthday today. Commissioner Steny L. Wright, we appreciate your efforts, we appreciate your time, we appreciate your new ideas you have brought forth. Looking at New Georgia Junction, where you see the bus stop, you have decided to put a place where people can sit and wait for the bus. That is a very, very much good work. That is innovation. That is being creative. So we appreciate you, Commissioner Steny L. Wright, as you celebrate your birthday today. I don't know the age, but I believe that this is a milestone for you. This is an age where you can advance yourself. This is an age where you can step up your games. So yes, let's move straight to the Focal Women Talk. Let's move to our topic for today. Today we're actually gonna be talking about setting boundaries. So Specifically, we're going to be relating this conversation to us females. So if you are a male and you are watching, yes, it's good enough, but I'm being precise with the females. So please stay with us. You can share our live stream as well to someone. So yes, today we're talking about setting boundaries as a female. So someone would like to know what is a boundary or what are boundaries. So a boundary or boundaries are standard that you set that can be used to provide some distance from someone or something. So in our Liberian way, this is your boundary. This is your boundary. They play it at your last play, you can stop. When we are in force with someone, partly the person is lashing at us, and then you tell them, I dare you to cross this line. They show a dimension. They show a distinction, sorry. It show where you stop and where I stop, right? I don't want you crossing this line. When you cross this line, you kind of crossing your boundaries. I don't want you insulting me. Why should you insult my mother? That's the last thing I would take. So these are all boundaries we set. But because we say these things, sometimes we tend to think that boundaries only the fact that the things we learn in school, in geographic, in history, where they talk about like we were sharing boundary or like we were sharing boundary with Sierra Leone or Ghana, that is the only thing. No, but the word boundary is kind of big as it relates to females when we talk about setting boundaries. Setting boundaries is a goal that needs to be implemented in our life. And there's an importance of why you as a person should set a boundary. So firstly, and let me just illustrate this. Let me just do this illustration. As a person, if you decide to purchase a land, you set a boundary. You call a surveyor, the surveyor survey your land. Your boundary indicates where your land stops. Your boundary indicates where your land starts. It's an imaginary line that is being drawn and being placed with a cornerstone. So that boundary tells someone who is coming at this is another person land. So in a word, I would say a boundary is a line drawn to set some distance. So in life, boundaries are appropriate behavior between people. Personal boundaries define where one person ends and another person begins. So yes, that is a boundary. And then when we move forward, someone will want to know how can I set a boundary or what is the importance of setting a boundary. So you have to understand as a female that it is important enough that you set boundaries because boundaries are standard. Boundaries are standard. Boundaries are standard that you set that can be used to provide some distance. Yes, I'm setting this boundary that I will never allow myself to go out without having money in my pocket. That is a boundary. That is a standard you have set for yourself. And it also helps to provide some distance. Like, I'm not gonna do this. I'm not gonna do this because if I do this, it's gonna be harmful. The distance itself from someone or something. So yes, I'm gonna set this boundary that I'll never allow anyone to look down on me. So because of that, I'm gonna push myself. And this is the line. If you want to be my friend, you can be my friend, but you can't tell me what to do. So these are all boundaries. Sometimes we say these things, we feel it's a goal. Yes, it's a goal, but it's also a boundary. It sets standard. This makes you different from someone else. It distincts you. Yes. So yeah, in life, there are appropriate behavior between people, and these appropriate behavior sometimes help in setting boundaries. Personal boundaries define where one person ends and another person begins. So yes, you see, if I have a personal boundary, my personal boundary is specifically about me. Yes, this is my personal boundary about myself, what I like, what I don't like, and because of that, it has to be respected. So there are purpose of setting boundaries. Why do you set boundaries as a female? So there are steps in setting boundaries you have to know. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care. I respect myself. I care for myself, so I'm about to set these boundaries. You set boundaries because it helps you to create a clear guideline, rules, or limits. You set boundaries to have limits. You set boundaries to have clear guidelines. Someone will tell you that girl will not agree to go out. So don't even hear your hair to go to her. So I mean, these are all guidelines you set that people will see. These are standards you set that people will see. People will have to abide to them. I don't like this. I don't like people touching my body. You touch my body, I don't like it. And if you do it, I report you, or I do XYZ, or I slap you, or I do something. So these are all things we set boundaries. Setting boundaries is a form of self-care. So if you are a person and you love yourself and you care for yourself, you should have a boundary. What are your boundaries? What is your boundary? What are your boundaries? Partly you only have one, and that is a boundary. So what are your boundaries? Do you have more than one? What are some of those things that you don't like? What are some of those things that you have set guidelines to? You have set rules, you have set limits. Some people can say, you can't be my boyfriend if you able to fix my hair, or you able to buy me 150 USD hair. I can't love to nobody like that. These are all standards. These are all standards we set. These are all boundaries. Like me, I promise myself I will never have an affair with a Muslim. It's my boundary. These are things we set. These are self-care. These are boundaries we set that help us to improve in our life, or that help us to be treated the right way we should be treated. I will never agree to a guy who will beat me up. Once he beat me for the first time, I don't want that relationship. These are boundaries. All of these things you say, you're not just saying it because you want to say it. Know them today. These are all boundaries. So, as a female, do you have a boundary, or are there boundaries in your life that you have, or you have never decided to set a boundary? It's time that you set boundaries now. It's absolutely time you set boundaries. So yes, so we're talking about boundaries today, and I'm seeing Gregphina. He's following, watching from Benson Street. Thanks to you, Papa. He's following me in studio here, and I appreciate your effort, Mr. Gregphina. So that is for that, for boundaries. So how to draw your lines with confidence. So before you set boundaries, you have to have confidence. If you don't have confidence in yourself, you will not be able to set boundaries. As a person, you should have confidence within yourself. I believe in myself, I can do this. Because if you do not believe in yourself, how will you be able to tell someone not to do something to you? I mean, anything will be accepted by you. So you have to have confidence. You have to have your self-esteem have to be really, really high. Yes. So in order to set boundaries, you must have confidence within yourself. You must be able to draw lines with confidence. You must be able to say this, no matter what I'm going through, I'm not going to give up, or I'm not going to let someone walk on my life and just do whatever they want to do. You must have that confidence in yourself that regardless of what, I'm drawing this line. If it costs for me not to eat, I will never associate myself with any drugs dealer. These are boundaries. These are boundaries you set. These are lines you set. These are things you set with confidence. No matter what life will throw my way, I will never stop going to school. I will continue to strive to go to school. These are all boundaries. You have confidence within yourself that you must go to school. You must accomplish that degree. You must achieve that goal. So no matter what, you draw lines to those things that are negatively that will hinder you from achieving your goals. So you see, it's good enough as a person to set boundaries. It's really, really good enough. So yeah, so in order to set boundaries, like I said, you must draw a line with confidence. There should be lines that you have to draw with confidence. Yes. So the first thing, how do you draw lines with confidence? So the first thing you have to do is you have to be assertive. If someone set boundary with assertiveness, it feels firm but kind to others. So you have to be assertive. You have to be assertive about it. If you have to set boundaries, assertiveness is a goal. And then you have to learn to say no. Obviously, you have to learn to say no. You have to learn to say no to what is right. You have to learn to say no to what is wrong. You have to learn to say no when it is the right time to say no. Even though it can be daunting to say, but no is a complete sentence. Have you heard that? Those of you who are good at English, no is a complete sentence. It's just no, period mark. No. No, exclamatory mark. No. That is a sentence. It begins with a capital letter and ends with a period mark. So you have to be able to say no when you should say no, and you should be able to say yes when you should say yes. So this is what is involved in setting in drawing your lines in order to set a boundary. You should be able to say no. You should be assertive. I mean, know what you want. Hmm? Be assertive. So safeguard your space. Safeguard your space. Secure your space. I mean, this is what I want, and I don't want nobody interfering with it. This my bag that I put here, or this my clothes that I hang on this line. Nobody shouldn't come and take my clothes off the line until the time they're supposed to take my clothes off the line. You should safeguard. Even in offices, they have boundaries. You don't go to office, you don't go to work when you are drunk. There are offices who set standards. So these are all guidelines. Offices do that. Even the various churches within our country, like we were in the world at large this time around, they do have guidelines. You have to do certain things. As a Christian, you have to do certain things. Even our normal things we do in our various workplaces. At school, we have boundaries. Our school gave us rules and regulation. Our school tells us do not enter with sleeveless clothes. These are boundaries. If you enter with sleeveless clothes, these are things that will do. You set guidelines. So in order to set boundaries, you should be able to draw the lines that if someone crosses that line, you'll be able to do XYZ. So you have to get assistance or support. In order to draw lines with confidence, you have to get assistance or support. Partly talk to someone about it. I'm deciding to I'm deciding to quit alcohol. I'm deciding to set this boundary that no matter what, I'm not gonna drink alcohol anymore. And then the person will give you an assistance. So you want to do this, but this is what you can do, and this is how I'm gonna support you every time. I'm gonna help you with transportation since that area is so bad off, and XYZ. I don't want you being in that area anymore. It will not improve you, not help you. So I'm gonna give you my support. I'm gonna give you my spiritual support, my mutual support, my financial support, my physical support. Yes, you have to get assistance or support from someone. So like I said, there are types of boundaries. There are types of boundary that you need to know. And one of the things I'm aiming at is this: you have to have a healthy boundaries. Boundaries are healthy. Hmm? Our boundaries needs to be healthy. Boundaries are what happen when you can't sense yourself in what you need and what you want, access your voice to speak to those things. We all have limits and we all have experienced violation of our limits. Isn't that true? We have all experienced violation of our limits. There are times people violate on us because we set boundaries. What will you do if I park my car in front of your house? It's my house. I say nobody shouldn't park car there. What you will do to me? So people sometimes they cross boundary, they deliberately park car in front of your house, even though you have set boundaries that nobody park car in front of my house. It's my house. I have set that boundary. Even myself, I've decided not to park car in front of my house. I don't want people parking car at the front view of my house. I don't like it. It's a boundary. It should be respected, but you see people violate. Sometimes you hear people saying, "Do not throw dirt in front of my house. Do not throw dirt in front." I tell you this today, I swear upon anything, if you throw dirt in front of my house, the way I will react, you will not like it. People have boundaries. People have boundaries. All of us humans, we should have boundaries. And sometimes our boundaries should not be violated. In no way we should compromise when it comes to our boundary setting. Yes. In no way we should compromise with our boundary setting. Most of the time, people are not trying to violate your limit. They are just unaware of what they are. Yes. So sometimes when you get friendly with someone, you have to set boundaries like this is what I like, this is what I don't like. Because sometimes they may not know. To be honest, sometimes people will not know. I just moved in your community, I have a car, and I see this big space. I mean, I don't know, you don't like it. So I go and park my car there. That doesn't mean you should be arrogant. That doesn't mean you should be aggressive. You should be able to talk to the person. I notice I'm just seeing your face in this community, but I don't like it. So please don't park your car and see whether the person will park their car again. So you see, sometimes you have to be very careful in when you're setting your limits or when you're setting boundaries, because sometimes people are not just trying to violate your limits. Sometimes they are not just aware. So you have to tell people that this is what I don't like, and I don't like you doing it. I don't like you wasting dirty water in front of my house. Please don't do it again. You have to confront people. That is why you have to talk to people about it. Yes, in order to set your boundaries. Sometimes this is because we are not clear with ourselves or other people with what we want or need. So these are reasons why people sometimes violate. We are not clear. We are not clear. So they will say something tomorrow is another thing. I let people smoking. tomorrow you get up in the morning, you call your friends for party, people are smoking. Then you tell your neighbor you don't like people smoking in your yard. How does that work? Today we are one, tomorrow we are another thing. So we are not clear with ourselves. You have to be clear with yourself first. In order to set boundary, you have to be clear with yourself. You have to be clear with yourself. You have to say what you want to say, and you have to act on what you want to say. Like the same way we are talking about peace in our culture, like Liberia. Oh, we want peace. We want this. Of course, we want peace. We have to act on the peace we want. So yes, it's not in line with our boundaries, but yeah, I mean, I'm just saying that to say sometimes we have to be clear with ourselves. If we want other people to support us, we have to be clear with ourselves. People are below. There are 6 boundaries that I'm going to talk about today, and that 6 boundaries, they are, one of them is physical boundaries. Physical boundaries include your needs for personal space. Physical boundaries includes your need for personal space. So physical boundary includes your need for personal space, your comfort with touch, and your physical needs like needing to rest, eat food, and drink water. Some people will say, I don't like when I'm sleeping for someone to wake me up. Oh, I don't like it. When I'm resting, I can tell my these are your boundaries. And it's your physical boundaries. It's okay to let people know that you don't want to wake up while you are sleeping, or you don't want to be touched, or that you need more space. It's okay to say that you are hungry. These are your physical boundaries. I mean, it's something that is physical. We can stop it. It's okay to tell someone, I'm not comfortable with your touch. I'm not comfortable with the food. I want to drink. I want to do this. These are your physical boundaries, and you need to talk about it. So there are physical healthy boundaries, and these are physical healthy boundaries that might sound like, I am really tired. I need to sit down. I am not BK, or I am a handshake person, or I am not a handshake person. I need to eat. I am going to grab something. I'm allergic to. I mean, I'm allergic to spray. I'm allergic to alcohol. I'm allergic to cocaine. I'm allergic to drugs. I mean, it's your physical boundary. So don't go into my room without asking. These are your physical boundaries. No, I don't want you to touch me like that. This is your physical boundary. These are your physical boundary. You like me, you state all of these things. I don't want to shake your hand. It's not force. Only in our Liberian culture where you go for a meeting, you see a gentleman will just walk to a woman and show his hand. And I mean, it's not educative to do that. It's not educative to do that. You don't just shake a female hand because you want to shake a female hand. It's not decent. You don't do that. So if the female places her hand to you, you can shake her hand. But if she's not giving and you don't just shake hand because you want to shake hand in a meeting, or business space. You don't just do that. Diplomatic space, you don't just do that. You don't just shake hand because you want to shake hand. You don't just even hug people because you want to hug people. So these are physical boundaries. Sometimes people say it's not because they are proud, and this is why we do in like, oh, that girl is proud. What you call proud? What you call pride, rather. It's not about her being proud, but it's about her setting boundaries. I don't like when I go in public space, you just walk to me and hug me. I don't like it. So when you come into her and she decide not to do that, you say she proud, she may she. What you call pride? So yeah, physical boundary violation feel like receiving inappropriate or unwanted touch. So whenever you have unwanted touch from someone, is a violation of your physical boundary as female. Being denied your physical needs, told them to keep working when you are tired or anxiety. Being denied of your physical needs are a violation of your physical boundaries. So we have emotional boundaries. Emotional boundaries are all about respecting and honoring feelings and energy. Emotional boundaries are all about respecting and honoring feelings and energy. So emotionally, we should be able to understand and respect people's feelings and energy. So if you do not respect or you do not honor people's feelings and energy, then it's violation of emotional boundaries. It's a violation of emotional boundary. And sometimes setting emotional boundary means recognizing how emotional energy you are capable of taking in. you first of all, you as a person, if you are emotional, to set emotional boundaries, it's kind of difficult. You should be able to understand what are some of the things that you are capable of taking in, knowing when to share and when not to share, and limiting emotional sharing with people who respond poorly. Respecting emotional boundary means validating the feelings of others and making sure you respect their ability to take in emotional information. Yes, there are others who are emotional. Someone will tell you that I don't like people playing with my hands. I'm emotional. When you do that, it puts me on a different pathway. Or someone will tell you that I don't like you insulting my mother. I'm an emotional person, and when you do that, it kind of enrage my anger. So I don't like you doing that. And these are all emotional boundaries that doesn't mean or that doesn't need to be violated. It needs to be respected. Remember, emotional boundaries are boundaries that respect and honor feelings and energy. You have to understand that. It sounds like when I share my feeling with you, you get criticized and it makes me totally shut down. I can only share with you if you are able to respond respectfully to me. So you hear people saying that in workspace, why you are so emotional? Why would someone say something against you, obviously? So these are things. And then sometimes it'll be like, I'm sorry you are having such a tough time right now. I am not in the place to take in all of this information. Do you think we can come back to this conversation later? So yeah, if these are all people who are setting emotional boundaries, these are things they say to you. So then I am having a hard time and really need to talk. Are you in a place to listen right now? I really can't talk about that right now. These are things people say and in setting emotional boundary. Yes. So another thing we will go to strictly is we while we are still on the different types of boundary, I'll firstly want to talk about I'll firstly want to talk about again. I want to talk about time boundaries. There are time boundaries that people set. Your time is valuable, like you may know, your time is actually valuable to human being. So in order to set boundaries, you must have time boundary. So yeah, time boundary is your time and how important you protect your time or how important you utilize your time. Setting time boundary is incredibly important. It's incredibly important. What do I mean? It's incredibly important at work, home, and socially. Like I have this time that I'm gonna be with you. Afterward, I have to study. So as a young person, as a female, you should be able to set a time boundary. Your time boundary to do something from now until 28 years. I'm gonna get married. These are all time boundaries. These are things we set. I can't come to an event on a weekend. No, I can't. These are time boundaries. These are healthy time boundaries. These are boundaries you set to certain things because you know if you go ahead and do that, it causes problems. So if you don't set boundaries in your life, you are misleading yourself. Meaning anybody can just do anything at any time. You yourself, you don't even have it. So you can just go ahead and do anything at any time. So in setting or healthy boundaries, you must include time boundaries. Time boundary is mostly essential in all cases. You should be able to set time boundary at work. At work, there are time boundaries. Even your employer set boundaries for employee. At so time you're supposed to send in your report. So you see, we cannot do anything without time boundaries in our life. You have physical boundary, which is essential. You have emotional boundaries, but time boundary is important. Setting time boundary means understanding your priorities and setting aside enough time for many areas of your life without overcommitting. Hmm? So you set boundaries because it's important. You set time boundaries to make you understand your priorities. That is what you do in order to set time boundaries. You set time boundaries to help you understand your priorities. So like you tell people I can only stay for an hour. I can make it. Do you have time to chat today? Like, I would love to help, but I will be overcommitting myself. Is there any other time available? So you see, most of these things need our representative candidates needs to put them in place. Like time boundaries, you give people your word. Your word is your word. We have family time on Sunday, so we won't make it. I mean, tell people I'm engaged. I can make it. As a human being, you should be able to set. You should be able to set boundaries. Like tell people your availability in terms of time. Do not lie. So if you are a person and you do not have time boundaries, these are things that you need to work on. So that people can be thinking, here, that means you come for that program, or like I said, she can be like, wow. That girl, when I come, mom, she can't, she have to tell her, thank you. Can you imagine? Because you don't even have time boundaries. You don't have time boundary for yourself. You don't have time for yourself. So how will you be able to attend functions or to set boundaries in terms of time? So these are things you need to do. Violated time boundaries looks like asking professional for their time without paying them. Does that make sense? Yes. It's in violation. It sounds like that. Violated time boundaries. It's almost like you asking professional for their time without paying them. You asking for my time and you able to pay me for my time. It's a violation. So yes. So another thing we have again, we have sexual boundaries. Sexual boundaries are part of healthy boundaries. So healthy sexual boundaries include consent, agreement, respect, understanding of preferences and desires, and privacy. So if you want to set sexual boundaries, you should be able to consent with someone whenever it's time that you consent. You should be able to agree, you should be able to respect, you should be able to understand their preferences, you should be able to understand their desires, and you should be able to respect people privacy, sexual boundary, respect people privacy. When somebody say I don't like it, me and you together, don't take picture, respect your privacy. Respect your privacy. That is sexual boundary. Asking for consent. Sexual boundaries include asking for consent, discussing and asking for what pleases you. This is a broad conversation. It's not really broad actually, but it's in depth rather. And this needs to be talked about when it comes to sexual boundaries. I think it's a topic for another day. Discussing and asking for what pleases you sexually, you should be able to ask for that. That's how you sex. That's how you have you set sexual boundaries. You should be able to ask. Do you like this? Do you like me touching you? Do you like wearing these clothes? Yes, these are all sexual boundaries. Another thing you need to do is discuss contraception. Yes, discuss contraception. Saying no to things that you do not like or that hurt you, protecting the privacy of another person. So this is really, really in depth, and I would not like to dive into it that much because I'm going to be talking about it in next week. Sexual boundary. So you have to have intellectual boundaries. Intellectual boundaries refer to your thoughts, your ideas and curiosity. So intellectual boundaries, you have to set intellectual boundaries, healthy intellectual boundaries, not just intellectual boundary, but healthy intellectual boundaries that include respect of idea of another people. There are people who do not respect people intellectual boundary. Meaning the person, here, why I won't get to talk. And most of the times we do that to our president. Yes, our President George Wanawia, we always feel you have to, as a diplomatic person or as a young woman coming up, you have to respect people' intellectual boundaries. That doesn't mean that everything the person is about to say is nonsense. No, that's why you see most of the time people say take the sense from out of the nonsense. Yes, it's good enough, but that is setting intellectual boundaries, respecting people ideas and respecting other people ideas, and do not violate them when there's a thought and curiosity are shut down, sometimes it dismays them and it belittles them. So do not violate them. Do not violate their intellectual and boundaries. There are people who say things that will not even be, as sensitive as you want it, but that doesn't mean it does not make sense. To you, it's not, but to other people, yes, it does. So do not violate people intellectual boundary. It's good that you respect people intellectual boundaries. And healthy intellectual boundary also mean considering whether or not it's good time to talk or something. You should know when to talk. In order to respect people intellectual boundaries, you should know when to talk. When an issue is not relevant at that moment, don't bring it all up. When people will like this. We are I'm intellectually inclined. That's what we say. You intellectually inclined, but you don't know what to talk at that moment that you're supposed to talk. Somebody talking about how they can establish a scholarship fund. They're talking about the country is corrupt. What does corruption at that moment relating to our country talking about scholarship funds? So So you have to understand intellectual boundaries. You have to understand. It's not good that you violate intellectual boundaries, because these are things that when you do in a public space, that's why you see some people can slap journalists, some people can react, which of course I do not support the act of violence, but you as a person be able to respect people boundaries, please. Especially intellectual boundary. You don't ask people questions. Or you don't ask people silly questions. You see, they asking Honorable Yeke Koluba questions that are not relevant. You see, you asking people like Madam Mirabro questions that are not relevant. Intellectually, you don't ask questions. You don't say things that are not essential at that moment when you having an intellectual conversation. So you have to set intellectual boundaries. It's important. And there are materials boundary. Materials boundary refer to items and possession like our home, our car, our clothing, our jewelry, our furniture, our money, etc. So you see, these are all material boundaries. It is healthy to understand what you can and cannot share and how you expect your items and materials to be treated by the people you share them with. So as a person, I have my car. I don't like people driving my car. No matter what, if I'm not home, nobody take my car and drive it. That is my material boundary. I don't like it. You shouldn't cross it. So these are things people say, even in workspace. When I put my pen down, I don't like people taking my pen. Because sometimes the time I'll need to use my pen, I'll not get it. These are all boundaries. These are materials boundary. Material boundary refer to items and possessions. What do you have? Your home is your boundary. You tell people when you come into my house, when you reach my house, don't enter my living room with your slippers or your shoes. It's your material boundary. It shouldn't be violated, and it should be respected. Having limits on your material boundary are treated on how they are treated is healthy and prevent resentment over time. Yes, it does. So even in workspace, you say, I don't like eating with people in the same pen. I don't like this. That is your material boundaries. They also have religious boundaries. And yes, that is your material boundary. I don't like people eating my pen. I don't like people drinking from my cup. That is your material boundaries. It should be respected. It should be respected. So, I mean, these are all boundaries that we talk about today, and it's good having you all here. Let me just take a short break. When I get back, I'm opening the live stream for questions. And yes, you can ask your question if you feel there's something that you need to talk about in terms of setting boundaries. You can talk about that. But prior to that, we talk about sexual boundaries. We talk about emotional boundaries. But for sexual boundaries, I'm going to be talking about it in depth next week, Wednesday. Sexual boundary is fully in depth. So I want to talk about it in total. Yes. So I'm going to be talking about it. But with that, just to notify Gregphina is watching, Kelly Notopa commented. And he said, thank you for your salient conversation. It's salient enough, yes, for everyone, not only female, but I'm going to be precise in order to know your boundaries or how to set boundaries. So if you watch this live stream today, or if you watch it after, learn to set boundaries. If you have not done that, learn to set boundaries. Know what you want. Start with yourself first. Have confidence within yourself. Set your guidelines, and then try to set boundaries. So yes, let's take this short break. When I get back, I'll wrap it up quickly. But before that, thanks for watching, and I'll be right back shortly with the information relating to setting boundaries as a female.
I don't know about you, but I'm always feeling good when it comes to conversation relating to women. So every Wednesday, we air out our women conversation on the Focal Women Talk. And of course, I am your presenter and your host, Gregphina Courage Pa. I love to be called Courage. I'm encouraging you to please join this platform on Focal Online TV, where we discuss issues concerning women. We talk about health issues, we talk about career issues, we talk about those challenging things we face in our daily lives as women. Please do not be deterred because you are not a woman at a particular age. Be reminded you can be a girl, you can be a teenager, you can be a woman, and you can still join this conversation. Please join me every Wednesday at 1 p.m. to 2 p.m. where I drill you through with an interesting conversation relating to us women. So please stay with me on Focal Online TV where we bring you innovation to broadcasting. Thanks for watching. I am your host, Gregphina, saying have a blessed day.
Okay, welcome back, folks. Welcome back to the Focal Women Talk here on Focal Online TV. Remember, our shows have been open for negotiation in terms of partnership. So we appreciate you if you want to partner with us on or you want to sponsor this show. We appreciate your efforts and we encourage you to come to our office at Tobo Village Community along the Japanese Highway where we can discuss these business issues. So yesterday I talked about setting boundaries as females. So we talk about boundary and we say what are boundaries? Boundaries are standard that you set for yourself that can be used to provide some distance from someone or something. That's what we said. And in further words, setting boundary is a form of self-care. That is a form of self-care. When you set boundary, you protect yourself, sorry, and then you set boundaries because it helps you create a clear guidelines, rules, and limit of how you would like to be treated. So you set boundaries in order for people to be able to treat you the way you want to be treated. So how to draw lines with confidence in order to set boundaries, we talk about being assertive, we talk about learning to say no, even though it can be daunting to say or it can be hard to say, but learn to say no when it's meant to say no. Remember, no is a complete sentence. Take this from me today. No is a complete sentence. So learn to say no. Safeguard your space. Secure your space. Don't just let anyone want to work into your life. Protect your space. Get assistance or support from someone in order to set boundaries like the way I'm doing right now. So another thing again I would like to say is continue to follow Focal Online TV because we have something big coming up for all of our followers. We encourage you to continue to follow Focal Online TV. And of course, today is the commissioner birthday, commissioner of the township of New Georgia. Today is his birthday. Commissioner TNAL Wright is his birthday. He's celebrating his birthday today. Commissioner, it's such a great thing to be born in September. It's such a great thing to be born in September. September born are people who are good, are people who are determined, are people who are intelligent, are people who are smart, are people who have good mindset in terms of leadership. I'm not saying this to say I'm a September born, but I've seen all of those attributes within September born, so I know who they are. And yeah, happy birthday to you, Commissioner. Focal Online TV is sending this special treat out to you. We appreciate your efforts being here. We appreciate what you are doing for this district. You have been newly installed into office, and then your doings are quite, unimaginable. So we are grateful having a commissioner like you that is down to earth, that is willing to be there for his people who reside within a particular district or a particular township. We appreciate you so much. So we have critical Momo Johnson. I'm here. Thanks for joining us, Momo. We're talking about setting boundaries as a female. You know, this show is about female. So we have the Focal Women Talk where we talk about issues relating to female. So Focal Women Talk here, we're talking about setting boundaries. What are boundaries? We know boundary are line that is drawn to show where another person lane stop or so and so. Or it is a line that shows demarcation. So yes, we all know that from high school, but boundaries are different in different contexts. In our lively context, it's different, and in different contexts, it's kind of different. So in just a normal form, boundaries are standard that you set so that you can have distance from someone or something. Boundaries are standards that you set that can be used to provide some distance from someone or something. And then we talk about the different types of boundary. We talk about sexual boundaries. We talk about emotional boundaries. we talk about physical boundaries, we talk about intellectual boundaries. So for today, I want to say thank you for joining me here. We have one of our employee at ABJ Foundation who will be celebrating her birthday on Saturday. I'm wishing you a God bless pre-birthday to you, and I'm sending this treat out to you, Molly Pehe, who should be celebrating her birthday soon enough. So thanks for watching, folks. I'm your host for today. My name is Gregphina Courage Bar, but because of these issues, call me Courage, and I'll be back again hopefully next week Wednesday with sexual boundaries. Thanks so much. I love you, and thanks for watching.